I want to wrap up today by talking about Beast Games, which I'm also watching in Clues Corner. This show is, I think, one of the most important reality shows that has ever been made in the history of mankind. I don't mean that to say it's a good show or that you're going to enjoy it, but the fact that it is made, and per Mr. Beast himself, it is the top watched show on Amazon in 60 different countries. I don't know if that's true, but this is information he put out into the world.
What is number one Amazon show? Oh my God. As of January 5th, the top watched TV show on Amazon Prime is Beast Games.
Yeah.
Others include Beast Games Cross, Beast Games The Summer I Turned Pretty, Beast Games Reacher, and Beast Games Fallout. Wait, are there multiple Beast Game shows?
I have no idea. I'm not sure what any of that other stuff is, but Beast Games is essentially an expansion, an evolution, an extrapolation of Squid Game, The Challenge, which is based on the scripted show, Squid Game. The message of that scripted show is it is bad to live in a world where billionaires and the financial elite can put together their own reality show for entertainment where people kill each other for money, an amount of money that is trivial to them. That's the message of the scripted show. That's a bad world to live in. We don't want to live in that world. Yes. Squid Game, The Challenge, the reality show, removes that message and just gives you that reality show, even down to making the people on the show wear squibs that explode when they get eliminated from the show, and the producers make them pretend to die on camera. So there's no real death, but there's at least the image of death being presented as these people are knocked out of the game. Now we go to the Beast Games. So Squid Game Challenge, I believe, had 486 initial players vying for a prize of $4.6 million. Beast Games has 1,000 initial players vying for a prize of $5 million, which is represented, and this is important, on Squid Game, The Challenge, and on Squid Game, The Narrated Show, or the scripted show. The money is kept in a giant piggy bank suspended from the ceiling. The players can look up at it. It's aspirational, but they can't touch it. And it's kind of delivered by God almost. The money falls out of the ceiling into the piggy bank. In Beast Games, the money is very much on the ground at the same level as the players, stacked into a small pyramid, $5 million in cash. On the top of that pyramid is Mr. Beast himself. He stands on a mountain of money, barking orders at these players before ultimately saying into the air, get rid of 100 of these players, drop them. And in the pilot episode, they're standing on these platforms, each one of them. And he just has somebody throw a switch that dumps 100 people at a time into a black void, which they digitally enhance, just like in Squid Game, The Challenge, to make it look like they're dying, falling to their demise. It is one of the most grotesque expressions of late stage capitalism, I think, that has ever been created on television. None of these players, or I should say very few of these players, are even given names. They're primarily referred to as their numbers. You get almost no ITMs about who these players are. I'm 4 episodes into this now. You don't know any of their backstories. They are just there to amuse Mr. Beast and his henchmen, of which there are 2 kinds. Mr. Beast wears a black tuxedo jacket with a black hoodie and black pants, as do 4 or 5 of his closest friends. He makes them dress just like him. You can see their faces and they kind of laugh at all of his jokes and scurry around after him, picking up his scraps. Then there
we're watching him most of the time.
Yeah. I mean, he's very much the main character of the show. This is all being done at his pleasure. He is the darkest Dark Lord we have ever seen because there is real evil in this man, in my opinion. And then there are also enforcers that are faceless, just like in Squid Game. People who are wearing masks, you can't see their face. They deliver money or throw the switch or, whatever needs to be done. I think it's important to watch this show because it is really, I think, a symbol of the times where we are living in a world where, there is certain sentiment against the global financial elite, shall we say, coming up from the proletariat, if you want to call it that. We've seen some events take place in the past month or so that I think we're all familiar with. And this is coinciding with the airing of this show where you have a billionaire or a man who is at least worth hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know if Mr. Beast is a billionaire yet or not. He may be. standing on a pile of money, yelling at people, trying to convince them to sabotage one another, to manipulate each other in service of, again, an amount of money that is trivial to him. All for his pleasure, as he laughs, cackles at the misfortune of these players that he is designing. It's unbelievable that this is a real show, that Amazon, again, I don't think there's any love for that company other than its service. I don't think people, think Jeff Bezos is a great guy. It seems almost like these two evil masterminds have come together to put this thing out into the world that is essentially reinforcing the idea that the global elite, the global financial elite, are immune from any of the problems that the common person has. And we will laugh at your demise for our entertainment.
Yeah, I looked up the show. The icon is him sitting on top of that pile of money. And according to the Wikipedia, he was ranked in the Forbes list for the highest paid YouTube creator in 2022, has an estimated net worth of $500 million.
Okay. Well, I mean, he's the most successful YouTuber of all time by a magnitude that's immeasurable.
This says
I don't
he's
even know who second place is.
$10 billion across
Could
the
be,
channels.
because he has all these
on Reddit.
Yeah, he's got multiple YouTube channels that are hundreds of millions of people watch his videos. He also has food and drinks and all kinds of different products and all this stuff.
February 15th, he said, he brings in $700 million a year, but says he's not rich. I've reinvested everything to the point of stupidity.
Sure.
All right.
I believe that.
Well, I just like the thing that is just so wild to me about this, which is whatever, basically just the Squid Game show as well, is like completely missing the point of why it was popular.
Absolutely.
And who is the evil person in Squid Game?
But
it's the host.
Those shows do well. This is the number one watch show on Amazon.
I mean, it's
Squid Game
literally
Challenge
rated
has a season
4
2
out of 5 stars on Amazon. Number 1 in the US. IMDb 5.2.
Yeah, it's strange that people don't. I guess the people watching this don't care, or they don't see the thing that this actually is. They're just watching it at kind of like face value, like, oh, look at that person crying because they lost their ability to make $5 million. Ha, ha, ha. I don't know. I don't know what it is exactly, but it seems like there is a reckoning coming for this type of media. I don't know when it's going to happen, but I don't think this type of thing is long for this world. Or maybe it is. Maybe I'm completely wrong and we go the exact opposite way until it's Running Man. Have you ever seen that movie?
Mm-mm.
Highly recommend this movie. It's called The Running Man. I believe it was based on a Stephen King short story. It is an action movie, an Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie from the late 80s, set in the year 2017, about a reality show called The Running Man, which takes convicted felons and puts them through this gauntlet where there are, I believe, 5 assassins in this arena that they have to make their way through all of them. And if they can get to the end, they win their freedom. And so it's about Schwarzenegger.
Do people all watch it?
It's the biggest show in the world. People bet on this, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of stuff in that movie that is like very prophetic. If you watch it now, you're like, wow, they got a lot of this right. Anyways, I don't know if we go completely that direction. Like, does Beast Games ultimately really have people dying in it? I don't know.
I don't know where the line is. I'm very curious, especially since, you have world stuff assessed. You literally are allowed to torture people if they agree to it.
But that's a different thing.
I don't know.
Those are like celebrities coming into this. It's a reality show. This is something completely different. It's just regular people, 1,000 people. And the games are almost like, it just has to do with random numbers. It doesn't even have to do like your skill or intellect. No skill. There is in some ways, but a lot of it is about psychosocial manipulation. Can you convince somebody to give you their thing and self-sacrifice so you can move on, that kind of thing. So even in that, the kind of interpersonal dynamics, it's used to exploit these people. At any rate, like I said, it is a hard watch, but I think an important watch. I do believe that it's kind of it's the new benchmark for these really exploitative shows. And I don't know where it goes from here, if it gets worse or if these shows go away. But it's important to know that these shows are there. Why would it go away? It's number 1. Because like I said, I think there's going to be a reckoning. The next 4 years, I think, are going to be very telling about what happens in media, what happens in our country, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that these shows are a symptom of just horrible abuse of power by rich people.
Yeah.
And that's what is being presented. That's the premise of these shows. I'm not sure that lasts.
I am very curious where it's all going to go. And I mean, the rate technology is going at this point. Like,
yeah,
I don't know. Going to be really, really interesting times ahead. I'm not going to watch this. But good fight in the good fight, Clues.
You got to know about it.